It was 1979. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini led Iran through a massive revolution. A new Islamist regime was established in Iran, and Khomeini became the supreme leader, the father of the nation that we call the Islamic Republic of Iran. Fast forward to now, and Ayatollah Ali Khameini, another cleric who was president of Iran from 1981 to 1989 under Supreme Leader Ruhollah Khomeini, is now the Supreme Leader of Iran. Just as he was picked by Ruhollah Khomeini as his possible successor, Ali Khameini has picked Ebrahim Raisi. But the still powerful shadow of the late Ruhollah Khomeini now haunts the current Supreme Leader. The family of the founder of the Islamic Revolution is unhappy. Meanwhile, the people too are unhappy. And as if history is repeating itself poetically, another revolution is brewing in Iran, seemingly with the blessings of the first Supreme Leader. Hi, and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Shubhangi. And in this video, I will tell you about how Iran might be stepping into another people-led revolution. Let's begin. The Iranian presidential polls of Friday promised to be a turning point in the Shiite nation's history. Hassan Rouhani, who happens to be considered a moderate in Iran, is retiring. Ebrahim Raisi, a hardliner and the head of the judiciary, is now widely regarded as the obvious favorite to succeed Hassan Rouhani as Iran's president. Raisi is considered to be a confidant of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khameini and as president will toe the line of the top Iranian cleric. However, the Iranian public does not have any liking for Raisi. Ebrahim Raisi, a hardcore Islamist, is simply being imposed upon the people of Iran by its Islamist regime, and the people of Iran are not liking this. The propping up of Ebrahim Raisi has not gone down well with many Iranians who have boycotted the elections. Now, Iranians boycotting the elections is bound to give Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei sleepless nights on end. First, the legitimacy of Iran's democratic and electoral process is undermined internationally, which will definitely have a bearing on the way the world deals with Iran. Most importantly, a mass boycott of these elections would mean that the winner, most likely Ebrahim Raisi, will not have popular backing. Iranians would have lost any trust they had in their country's political system and will realize that the only way to challenge the regime is by taking to the streets in a popular uprising. Iranians are no fans of the Islamic regime in the country. All they want is a normal life with a steady income. However, under Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iranians have been robbed of their livelihoods. Over 50% of Iran's 85 million population has been pushed under the poverty line since 2018 because the Islamic regime was not complying with the terms of the 2015 nuclear deal, forcing Donald Trump to withdraw from it. Iran's oil income has evaporated and its economy is in shambles, all thanks to crippling sanctions imposed by the Trump regime. The people of Iran are paying for the grave mistakes of their political and theological overlords, and now with Ebrahim Raisi, things are set to get worse. It is only a matter of time before ordinary Iranians take to the streets of Iran. They have already shown their ability to do so, and what they have been lacking all this while has been a mainstream leader who can provide the anti-regime movement a direction. That hiccup too, however, seems to have been overcome. Members of former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini's family are now speaking out against the present regime and has also called for a boycott of the sham-like Friday elections. Hassan Khomeini, grandson of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, who was the founder of the Islamic regime of Iran, has called out the Iranian Guardian Council's brazen engineering of the polls, saying, "Were I among the eligible candidates, I would have withdrawn my candidacy." On 31st of May, Hassan Khomeini told a crowd of Iranians that the new government which will be formed will not have the backing of the public and will thus be an illegitimate one. He said, "The people's vote is a condition for the legitimacy of the system," adding that a government that does not enjoy general acceptance has no legitimacy. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini was the founder of the Iranian Republic. Therefore, when members of his family began calling out the current supreme leader and his tightly controlled institutions, we know for a fact that Iran's streets are about to get busy with another revolution. And then Hassan Khomeini is not alone in calling out the present regime in Iran. According to Zahra Khomeini, daughter of the Republic's founder, the unbelievable matter is to reject the candidacy of regime officials whose efforts are well documented since the beginning of the revolution until this day in the service of the people and the revolution. Therefore, a war seems to have already broken out between the Khomeinis and the Khomeinis. The Iranians, tired with supreme leader who they no longer consider a legitimate power, will only be emboldened by the results of the presidential election. Democracy is no longer a viable option for Iranians to kick out the Islamic regime since the system has been gamed. In the 2019 anti-regime protests in Iran, the country's security forces killed over 1,500 unarmed civilians. Iranians have not forgotten the brutalities meted out to them. They know very well how Ayatollah Ali Khameini is effectuating the third stage of the Islamic Revolution, which entails the installation of an Islamic government. The next stage is that of establishing an Islamic society, which would mean the extermination of all moderate and non-extremist thought from Iran. Now, a civil war is more than imminent in the Shiite nation.